What's going on, guys? Today is trading review number 3. I only really found one stock to trade, which was AMLX. I mostly traded pre-market, but at the open I did get a couple of decent dip trades. So AMLX has a gap of 36%. And also a float of 28.46 million, which is a little bit higher than I would have preferred, but it ended up giving a decent move on it. With this one on the daily, I was a little bit worried about the back holders, but it was still a good opportunity to capitalize on it. As you can see, I previously tried to enter, but it didn't work out, so I got out pretty much break even. But on the next trade, I was looking for the break of 13. The volume was looking really nice. I tried to get filled a couple times in the bid, but couldn't really get filled on it. It broke 13 and it immediately pulled back, which wasn't really a good sign, but the volume profile was looking really good. So I was looking for the break of 13.05. So it broke. I was too late. I tried to get filled, and then luckily I filled on the pullback and managed to sell at 13.50 for a 45-cent winner. And I would say this trade was quite lucky. So now I'm still looking for a pullback entry. I'm seeing if it can hold 25. It held 25, but I got filled a little bit too high at 32, so I wasn't really comfortable with that entry, and then I just ended up going flat on it. I think a good entry would have been 25, but in hindsight it's always more obvious. On the next candle, I'm still looking for a pullback entry, and I'm still looking for an opportunity to trade. So in the next candle, I actually decided to take a dip at 13.38, just 200 shares, and I was looking to see if it could curl back up to 13.50 and break it. And I was willing to take another dip at 13.25 or at 13.03 if it retested the 90 MA to show support. It ends up holding this area, and on the next candle it kind of opened a little bit too low for me, and so with seeing so much red on the tape at the same time, I just didn't feel too comfortable with a pullback. I thought it was going to pull back even further towards the 90 MA, and so I was like, you know what, I'll just cut it. What it ends up doing, it ends up ripping above the previous red candle, and it actually ends up going through the highs. So that would have been a really nice trade, in hindsight. I should have held a little bit longer, definitely. But at the end of the day, if I don't feel comfortable with a certain setup or with a certain position, to me you should just cut it, because it just feels like gambling at that point. And with every failed attempt, with day trading, to me is more about accumulating these experiences, and therefore it will also improve your intuition, and which will improve your trading, basically. So in my next trade, I end up taking a dip at 1362. I was actually meant to take a dip at 1355, closer to the 90 MA. Ended up making about 8 cents or 9 cents in profit. It was a good dip trade. It was just that really late reactions. So the entry was not the best. Definitely could have done better. So here, I'm thinking if it gets over the 9 and 20 EMA, it might have a chance to rip through 1350. So I'm just watching it here, see what it does, see if it's holding any levels. I see it coming up to 50s. I decide to take a dip at 1344. I get filled, and then it breaks 50. I immediately put a profit order out for 20 cents, and it's not really hitting the 20-cent mark, so I decided to just sell it for 13 cents, I believe. It actually ends up going higher, and I'm still looking for another entry at this level. So for my next trade, I'm just feeling a little bit of FOMO because it's made a bigger move than I expected. It started breaking the previous candle's high, and it started hitting the 1380s. So I'm thinking, okay, where can I get a good entry? So I see it holding the 75 level, and then moving back up to 82s and 83s, but it's not breaking properly. So I just end up going flat on the position. Didn't want to hold it too. I just didn't want to hold it for too long. And so fortunately, I went flat on my position, and what happened next was the stock flushed all the way back into VWAP, and I decided to take a dip right off VWAP at 1327. Could have taken some profit, but I thought it would have gotten bought up a lot more. But as it came back down, I decided to just take an L on it, because it just wasn't bouncing as much as I wanted it to, and as quick as I wanted it to. And here I missed a really good dip opportunity for a double bottom at 13. That would have been one of the best dip trades I've ever made if I would have taken it. Ends up bouncing right back up towards 30s, 40s. That would have been a quick 40 cents. So for my last trade, I took a really nice short at 1380s, and that's because the stock seemed to be chopping around a lot. There was a huge resistance level. It felt really heavy at that point, and it broke past my average by 10 cents, but immediately flushed back down, giving me 40 cents of profit. But I couldn't capitalize quick enough. So that's definitely one of the things I need to work on. It ends up coming back up quite fast, so I end up getting a little bit nervous. So then I just covered at 1360 for 20 cent loss, 20 cent winner. And as you can see, it actually came back down even more, so that would have been a big winner.